you ever been talking to somebody, but you knew they weren't listening to you? Does that ever happen to you? Yeah. How's it usually make you feel when that happens? Doesn't make you feel very good, right?
Pisses me off.
Yeah, it makes you angry. Well, maybe if you listen to what I've learned about listening, you can pick up some tips on listening and avoid embarrassing yourself. You see, I don't think I've ever been a very good listener. I have a very active mind and I tend to overthink things. This doesn't translate well into very good listening. It's been harmful in my relationships and when I'm meeting new people. For example, right now I'm not thrilled with my career, so I'm volunteering at organizations with causes I can get behind. One of the organizations that I volunteer at provides companionship for elderly people. So the volunteers go and they become friends with the elderly person. I thought this seemed like an interesting cause, so I decided to attend their orientation. At the orientation, we had to do an icebreaker activity where you partner up with somebody, you meet with them, talk for a few minutes, and then you introduce them to the rest of the group. So I got partnered with this nice older woman. Her name was Natasha. We talked for a few minutes, and then when it was my turn to introduce her, I said, "Hi everybody, this is Natasha. She joined this organization because she believes in care and respect for elderly people." And then very confidently, I said, "And fun fact, she used to play basketball overseas semi-professionally." Everybody in the room oohed and ahed. A curious volunteer followed up my introduction of Natasha with, "Oh, that's really cool, you played basketball overseas. What team did you play for?" Natasha replied somewhat dishearteningly, "I never played basketball overseas, but my husband did." You know the feeling after you embarrass yourself in front of a room of people? Kind of wish you had like a turtle shell that you could duck your head into and hide away from the world. It's kind of how I felt at this moment in time. I was embarrassed. I was hard on myself. I said, I need to become a better listener. I'm too self-centered. It wasn't the end of the world, but it stuck with me. How can I become a better listener? Then I remembered a few months ago I read a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Have any of you ever read it? It's a brilliant book. If you haven't read it, I would recommend reading it. If you haven't read it, reread it. But there's a chapter in there on listening. The principle is stated as become genuinely interested in other people. Now I like this because it's not a cheap trick. It's not pretend to be interested in other people so you can get what you want out of them. It's be genuinely interested in other people. So how can I put this principle to test? Just so happens a few weeks later, as part of my journey of self-discovery, I attended another orientation. This one was called Better Angels. It focuses on political depolarization, getting the two opposite sides of the political spectrum together to have a civil discussion about politics. This is a cause that I'm definitely interested in, so I decided to attend one of their skills workshops. As luck would have it, one of the skills that they were teaching was listening. Because, and this is something that you might find shocking, but sometimes when people are having political discussions, they don't listen to each other. So the exercise is you get with a partner and you talk with them for a few minutes, and your only goal is to reflect back to them what they said in your own words. A wise man named Ken once told me that this is called mirroring. So I also remembered that I should be genuinely interested in what they had to say. So I got partnered with this cranky older woman. Her name was Judy, and she volunteered to go first as the listener. Or she was going to go first as a talker, and I was going to be the listener. So Judy started talking about immigration. And I noticed that when my only goal was to mirror what she had to say and become genuinely interested in her, I listened a lot better. So after she was done talking, I said, "Okay, so you're concerned about the financial and security risks that immigration cost the United States? And she said, yes, exactly. You're a good listener. That's the first time that anybody has ever said that I'm a good listener in my entire life. But what struck me after that meeting is that I never remember listening so effectively. Usually when I hear a political point I disagree with, I'm coming up with arguments in my mind to try to refute what they said, or just reply while they're still talking. So why should you care? Why do you want to be a better listener? Well, first of all, you can avoid embarrassing yourself like I did. And this time, and when you embarrass yourself, it may be in front of your boss or your father-in-law or something more high stakes. And second, if you become a better listener, your relationships will significantly improve. I can tell you that my relationships have improved since I started using this listening technique, and yours can too. Dale Carnegie said in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, you can win more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. In other words, listening is important. So next time you want to brag about that sweet vacation you just took, let someone else do the talking and listen up. Thank you.
Thank you.